CFG Game Cast, episode number 209, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers who like to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode weekly and release it on all podcast services. So do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, the CFG channel, or go to our main website, freaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. If you want to throw some ducats our way and support the podcast, you can always become a VIP member by going to the CFG.store, where now you can we have roles to go into Discord, into the CFG private Discords, where we're going to be doing a lot of cool extra events like Let's Watches and so on. So, but anyways, enough with the upsell. I know I'm good. But I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green. And with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
I got my audio fixed. Donk, thank you for messaging me the suggestions. I appreciate it. And I did a test stream last night, and me and Rab were trying to figure it out. Maybe it was because I was overtired. I did a lot this week. We put in 3 new appliances in the kitchen. I also took 3 appliances out. It was a lot. Opie, not now. So, you know, I'm a little overtired. And Kitty rated my test stream. I was like, no, Kitty, I'm just doing audio. She's like, hey, I don't have anyone else to rate, and I want to see your face. I'm like, okay. And I'm Rav's like, I give up. I'm going to sleep. I'm like, all right, go to bed. She's like, what's the issue? And I show her, this is the problem. This is what I'm having. I tried this. I tried that. Now we're back to square one with this mic. And hey, nah. And she goes, okay, let me see all the programs. And then she figured it out in 5 minutes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. She's like, I basically run the same program, so I understand. Hold on.
Yeah, that's good though. I mean, well, no, I'm actually.
Yeah, I don't care how it got fixed. I'm just very excited.
I'm just surprised if other audio issues. Well, that's why I'm terrified of doing a 2-stream setup, man. I don't want to deal with the audio.
It was actually
have to deal with it
a lot easier once Stream PC was communicating with Gaming PC, it automatically communicated with me. So that fixed everything. Yeah. So then I just had to go into OBS and redo the audio channels. So easy. I made one, and then I just copied and pasted down the line. Yeah. Go again, copy and paste the next thing.
But it still has taken 3 weeks to do all of that, to figure all that out, once with trial and error and stuff like that. But
you already have an XLR mic, so you're already like 2 steps ahead. Number one. Number two, because this fucking thing says that I could do what it's supposed to do when it doesn't. That's where a lot of my problems came from. So don't worry, you're already like 10 steps ahead.
I need to get the 3.5. Well, I need to get the 3. Well, I already got. It's funny. I got the streaming PC from when I was in Arizona. It's sitting actually underneath my desk, and I've just been so lazy to do it to add to it. But I just still want to. It's really easy. Yeah,
just call me. I've watched all the videos for you.
I want an isolated screen too. I need to get some new. I need to get some monitors. I want to get an isolated monitor specifically for the streaming
PC. I do. Yeah. I have a 4th one that I put up. Which, yes, now I have 4 monitors. I know, but this one's vertical, so it's easy.
I'm good. Yeah. Because the streaming PC will only have 1 monitor, and that's it. And then the other two, and I'm just going to have 2 monitors on the other one, because I just can't do 3 monitors. Or
KVM switch makes life a lot easier. Just saying. Yeah. If you want to go that route.
Yeah, but do you know who I think is going to have a nightmare of a time to decide when he decides to go to a 2 PC monitor or 2 PC setup as well?
His name is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the 3rd seat. What's going on, my dude?
It's been a week. It is going to be a heck of a time, but hopefully not. NT will guide me to the promised land, I believe. But other than that, they got the Helldiver servers fixed. Matchmaking is working beautifully. No issues getting into the game. I'm absolutely loving it. I was playing with Darth Aiden and Soda Pop last night, and I'm like up to level 16 now. I started at like 12 because we were doing impossible missions. So like that, I got huge XP on that. That was awesome. I've been making some Nightingale. I've been recording some Nightingale. We had issues trying to stream it last week. But I've got a fun idea for that, so I'm excited to get that going and start putting that content out there. Other than that, I mean, it's just been a busy week in video games in general. We had the partner showcase from Nintendo, LANFest 2024, or IGN's LANFest is going down right now as well. So we got a bunch of trailers. We had Avatar, the Netflix series that started, which we did watch the first episode last night. I personally loved it. I'm liking where they're at with it and what they're doing, and I'm excited to continue watching it. So I think so far it's been a pretty solid adaptation. So I thought they did pretty good job casting wise as well. Like it definitely feels like that world. So
wow,
yeah,
so
it's been pretty solid.
So you've been liking the I was one like so you've actually been watching the live action and it hasn't been disappointing.
So we only went through we only watched the first episode. So we only got through the first episode. So I haven't watched any more, but I felt like that was a pretty solid from somebody that has watched the series. It felt pretty good, and I think it was solid in terms of somebody that was new, just jumping in and didn't watch the anime. I felt like they did a good job of kind of building that world and the environment and what's kind of gonna lead up to what's gonna ultimately happen.
Interesting. Well, how many episodes is it? Do you know? Does it say?
I'm not sure. I didn't look.
I feel like a lot of those adaptations are like only 7 episodes.
No, that's what Disney does, and I don't think that's what y'all should ever follow. You want to follow what Disney does with that nonsense. Avatar does. If it was Netflix, they usually do 10 to 12. So, like, hopefully, we need to go take a look and see where it's going to.
I'll take a look. Yeah, I'll take. Actually, I could probably do it on my TV right here, right now. Yeah, it's a pretty solid week though. What about yourself, man? What have you been getting into, brother?
Man, I've been once again didn't stream this week, but it's so depressing when you look when I do the show or when I start the show up and I'm like, oh, what did I stream last? And it's the show from the
CFG
previous
Game
show.
Cast.
Yeah, it's like the previous one. It's like, man, it's been a week.
You're just so excited to see us every week.
It's so depressing.
Wait.
I have so much other stuff I've been taking care of. It's like, and then I'm like, oh, it's been 7 days. It's like, oh my God. I was doing a lot of stuff off stream, mostly just getting ready for some house guests and stuff that's coming here in the next tomorrow actually, and then also getting ready for Final Fantasy Rebirth, so 7 Rebirth that comes out on the 29th.
Dude, like the reviews have started coming in and stuff, and like literally, I'm gonna cry. I already know I am.
You already know you're gonna cry.
That is a full putting my whole attention into that game. That is not a stream game for me.
Oh, it's definitely not a stream game. Definitely not a stream game.
I gotta be able to put myself up in there. So
I'm going. Well, I started playing Final Fantasy VII Remake because there were certain things I wanted to finish. Like I finished Intergrade last week for the first time. The Yuffie story, as well as I wanted to see I'm trying to unlock. There was 2 summons I didn't pick up yet, so I'm trying to get the summons yet.
It's 8 episodes.
Oh, it's 8 episodes. Oh,
8.
God.
I said that. I looked it up. See, 7
to 8. Sorry, I didn't even hear you say.
I've been watching a lot of other anime live action adaptations on Netflix, and they're about 7 to 8 episodes. So.
Fun fact.
But they're long. Yes.
Avatar is in an anime.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I'm just saying, but the because it was made by Nickelodeon. It was here. It was made here.
What I mean is,
I think it's a good
live action adaptations. Sorry.
Oh yeah, but
some of them anime.
I think it's a good compliment to call it an anime, though, in my opinion. So, because I mean, it was a really good job.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally consider it an anime, even though it doesn't, not technically. I still feel like it fits within that genre.
because the look of it. Yeah, because of the look of it. But overall though, like I said, all in all, I just think that so getting ready for Final Fantasy and my extra guests and stuff. So we'll see. Oh, and a friend randomly like hit me up just recently and says like, hey, do you live in the near this city? And then I'm like, yeah, I do. It's like, oh, hey, there's a One Piece pop-up store that you live nearby here. And I was like, because he's a hardcore, like he's a game, he's playing the card game of One Piece. I didn't know there was I didn't even know that was popular, but apparently, there's a One Piece thing, and then he's like, "Hey, can you find these certain decks?" So he gave me a list of decks that he's looking for, and I'm like, "Oh my god, dude!" It's like this is too many. It's like, why can't you just get them online? He's like, because they're going average. Like the decks only cost $11.99 on retail, but on eBay or any secondhand stores are going for $150. And I'm like,
oh wow.
It's like, where's it? Like, you can't get them anywhere else. And he's like, no. He says there's only two places in the U.S. that has it. One is in New York, and the other one is in Texas. And I'm like, why are we here? Why would they choose Texas as the second option? It's like it's might as well they could have just said, hey, we're gonna put it in a Strongbow, Alabama, or something. It's like that for all I care. But they did, So yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna go stop by there tomorrow and see what they got, and hopefully they're not too expensive. So, but anyways, I know you don't want to talk about One Piece and card collecting because I sure as hell don't. But let's go through the normal rig and roll that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a game or a topic of a game or something that happened in the gaming industry from the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry itself. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch, YouTube, and on Kick, to be a part of the conversation as always by going into the chat. Type in whatever you're thinking, and we would love to discuss around with you as well. So let's get this party started with Smitty. What are you bringing to?
So you know that on the 21st we got a Nintendo partner showcase. It was about a 25-minute showcase. One thing I like about Nintendo is like they just hit you with it. They don't waste any time. They get right to it. I felt like this was a pretty jam-packed showcase, especially for the allotted time. One of the big one being, and we talked about it here a couple weeks ago, is just all the Xbox speculation, how they came out with, hey, we're basically going to be doing the thing that we said we are going to be doing, and that was getting their games on other platforms. But they didn't announce any of their games. So we found out two of those games here. Right out the gate, they talked about Grounded. I think Grounded is a great game for the Switch platform. I think there's going to be a lot of folks. It's pretty, I want to say it's generally pretty kid-friendly game as well, with there being kids and stuff like that. It gives you a good survival crafting experience. There's an actual storyline to it. And I haven't even played it since it actually launched, which I'm so sorry it does. We had a good thing going and I just kind of fell off. That makes sense to me. I think that's a perfect platform for that to be on. And then Pentiment, which came out the day after the showcase, which was, again, pretty huge to be like, oh, hey, by the way, this game is also going to be available tomorrow. So I don't know very much about Pentiment. That game, the art style looks pretty unique, but I can't really speak on the game. But the fact that they brought, again, we're seeing what Xbox and Microsoft has been talking about, what they've been building towards. Now we're starting to see that flow, and it's only going to increase, I imagine, as more and more folks look to do the same. As Sony Entertainment's president Totoki was talking about bringing PlayStation games to PC in a faster manner, because they're seeing the benefits of that and those resurgences of these games that are exclusive on PlayStation. Then they bring them over the PC. So that's huge. Some other things, I'm getting a little long-winded here. Endless Ocean Luminous looked pretty dope. It's kind of like an open, multiplayer game that you're exploring underwater. I believe it was either a 64 game or not a 64 game, a Wii U game, I believe, at one point in time. So they've updated it and stuff like that. It looked pretty cool. Another one's huge, Star Wars Battlefront classic collection. I've never played the original Battlefronts. I only played the EA ones, which we all know had all kinds of turbulent stuff with their monetization and just EA. So I'm excited. I know there's ground, air, and space battles. There's all kinds of things that I'm hearing about it. So that might be one. I think it's only going to be like $35 or something like that. So it's not too crazy. So that was interesting to see that. There was also, what was the other one? Nothing. I mean, I know there's the Mickey Mouse thing. There are some other cutesy games. One of the big things for me though was seeing the Rareware collection come into the expansion online, which brings Battletoads, Battlemania, Snake Rattle and Roll. If you remember that game, I totally do. RC Pro Am, Killer Instinct.
God,
I can definitely get on board with that, and Blast Corps. So it's nice to see, again, them bringing more games to that expansion pack and just to give more value there. Again, they got a lot and they unloaded a lot of information and games just off this partner showcase. We know too, for them, it's going to be another slow year in terms of their first major party stuff. My guess with what we've heard, we don't have any kind of confirmation yet, but with the Switch 2 being delayed possibly to at least the end of the fiscal year, which would be March, maybe their focus is on building out first party games.
At least the announcement.
At
least the announcement for the Switch 2.
Right.
We don't know, so
yeah. I mean, again, it's nice to see that there's still things coming. They may not have any major first party stuff. And frankly, I think they need to slow their roll a little bit anyway, because I mean, just what we saw with Pokemon and how aggressive they were with their development, but the crap that they put out, I feel like there's a lot of folks, developer sides that, and again, I'm not saying it's their call. I'm guessing it's boards and stuff like that they're trying to hit these projections and things like that just aren't realistic, and we're getting more quantity than quality. I like to see that flip, and I want to see more quality over the quantity of games. Our backlogs are already ridiculous. We don't need this many games. It's too much. So I'm really hoping that this year is going to be a great year for indie titles in smaller studios to really shine. We'll see. But yeah, I love this direct. This was another solid direct by Nintendo.
This was a partner direct, so I wasn't expecting much out of it personally. Like, I didn't think that there was going to be like anything that'd be like jaw dropping, especially let alone for first party support. So it was this direct was specifically the third party support of the games that are coming onto the system. The one thing I kind of really noticed that, I mean, I don't want to say disappointed, but just more like just that I was noticing here was the mass amounts of remasters and HD versions of it. It's unfortunate is what I'm looking at. I mean, it's cool. I mean, like Epic Mickey Rebrush, great game. It is a good game, but really, like, dude, that game came out in 2011 and stuff, and you decided to do a remaster for that game specifically. Really, really odd. I mean, there were I think the thing, if any of the games that they did announce in this direct that kind of hyped me up a little bit, I would say it was Super Monkey Ball, because it's a brand new Super Monkey Ball that's coming out, and I loved that game when it originally came out on when it was on the what was it on the GameCube when I played it last. Yeah, the puzzles and stuff, and then now the online mode that they're including into it was really fun towards it. But then also Microsoft also showed I think the cool thing that Microsoft also kind of announced in the midst of the fact that they're bringing Grounded and Pentiment over is that they also announced that Hi-Fi Rush was coming, but it was not going to be coming on the Switch, which was interesting. It was going to be coming on the PS5, as well as Sea of Thieves is also going to be going on the PS5 huge. As well, which is
and it'll be crossplay,
and it's going to be crossplay on top of all that. Yeah, so like I mean, so like to say it like what I mean, maybe it's just logically like I would have thought that the Switch can handle Hi-Fi Rush, but maybe I guess not. I mean. Right, for them to say that's like, wow, really? It's like I was a little surprised when they said, oh, Hi-Fi Rush is gonna be on PS5 but not on Switch. I'm like, oh wow, I thought it was gonna be a slam dunk for that for it to be able to handle it, but there's obviously a reason why. So like the games that are coming out on the Nintendo, this showcase was cool, but it wasn't just like, oh god, I totally forgot about World of Goo 2. There's so many random this sequel is so random because this game because World of Goo 1 was a game that came out 2008 on the on the Apple iOS. That's what the first one was. Yeah, and this is the time when you did motion dynamics, like that's what this one was. And then then they decided, okay, we're gonna make a sequel. I'm surprised this is the first sequel for this game. I was just like, wow, I don't think no one ever thought about seeing this game ever again, because now so now it's like, not only that it's not on iOS, they decided to make it a full-fledged game in itself. I hope it's going to be I mean, it was a fun game, but very interesting choice that they decided to go with. But yeah, so the showcase was good. I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, there's no positive and negative for me on that. What about you, Lex? What do you think?
I do like the way they do their showcase. There's no fluff. Just give it to me straight. I like that. I also like that we're finally having companies talking to each other. And because again, why do you care where we play it as long as we're playing your game, right? At the end of the day, you're going to be making a profit off that anyway. So that's exciting. I think we're in 2024. This should have happened a long time ago. Yeah. As far as the games, it's so funny. I saw the Rareware logo. I was like, oh my God, my childhood came flooding back. I was like, I think that stupid motorcycle game I used to play was from Rareware. I couldn't beat the second level. It drove me nuts. There's a lot of games that you mentioned that I remember playing as a kid at my grandpa's because he had a Nintendo, but I didn't. So it was kind of like a special treat that I got to essentially just go and watch my cousins play it because I was new. I was fresh meat. Wasn't allowed to touch it, I know. Yeah. Anywho, it's childhood trauma we're not going to unpack today. I liked a lot of the games. The Mickey Rebrush looked really good to me. I was going to talk about a horror game that was coming out. It was Mickey related, and that's what kept popping up in my search. I'm like, this looks great. I've never seen the game, so to me, it's brand new. But the colors looked absolutely spectacular. It looked phenomenal. What year did that game originally come out in? You said it was for the GameCube, right?
Yeah, the Wii. Came out on the Wii.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Epic Mickey originally came out on the original the first Wii on the Wii.
Interesting. Yeah, I never played it, and nobody that I knew that had a Wii had that game. So we were always playing tennis. But
well, it's kind of tough because like the Wii is a game was a system where everyone had, but I don't think that everyone a lot of people explored like a lot of the story based games and stuff. Mostly it was a lot of party games that were on that system. So
right.
Yeah, so if anyone who did play it, they got a good surprise, you know.
It looks fantastic. I mean, I don't feel like they're throwing a bunch of fluff out there. The announcement for, again, I'm probably not getting Switch 2, if I'm being honest. The games look great, but nothing speaks to me saying, I can't wait for the next wave of games and I needed a Switch 2. I barely touch the one. You know what's funny to me?
To be honest, like the other day, I got an email reminder, and and it says like, hey, you're going to get charged for your $20 membership, your $20 online membership for Switch 2 for the Switch. And I was like thinking to myself, am I really using it? Like, do I really want to spend another $20 for this? And I'm actually thinking about just canceling it, because like there's because like I don't have the expansion version that y'all have, and I just think that there's no real reason for me to mess with it.
Right.
So like so I'm kind of on the same boat when it comes to that.
See, and I'm on somebody else's family plan. They're like, oh, we have an open spot, and I was like, oh, sure. How much do I owe you guys per year? And I'm like, don't worry about it. We're paying for it already. I was like, oh. Okay. Is that still active? I have no idea. I don't know. I think so, because they're in the process of building a PC that's going to take them another year. So they're playing something. It's just
ridiculous. Yeah.
So I don't know. It looks fascinating. Again, the games that have been announced this year to me look pretty good.
It's going to be a soft year this year, in my opinion. Like
there's such a backlog.
It doesn't even seem like there's like, it's funny. Like, you know what? I should take that back. It's not going to be like a soft year in gaming. It's just going to be a soft year for first party gaming. So I think So I don't, cause I mean, like, dude, like Mega Giants, like Final Fantasy is going to be destroying right now, like at the end of the month. And then you also got some other stuff coming in the near future. But like for like direct first party support for games, there's not going to be a lot. I don't think there's going to be a little bit, if not any, that we know of. That's going to be a big that's going to be a big AAA release, because Nintendo's releasing, I think Nintendo's most recent one, Mario versus Donkey Kong, and then it also got Peach. Princess Peach's solo game,
Showtime.
Yeah, that game. It's not going to be unless they're going to do like an announcement of Metroid Prime, like a new Metroid game or whatever, which I doubt.
I think they'll save all that for launch of the new console.
I mean,
I don't think we're gonna get any. Why do that? They should already be building into that new console.
But Nintendo,
you know what I mean? If you're gonna get people, because they can't have a Wii to Wii U situation, they can't do it again. So for me, it's like, what do you do? How do you? I don't know.
Nintendo,
I'm in the same boat as you guys. Like, I don't care. I am not gonna get a Switch 2. Yeah. I don't have any. It's gonna take a lot for me to be like, you know what? I need to throw these ducats down for this, because I'm back, baby. Like, I'm
I think though. I think that the Switch is like, when the Switch 2 comes out, like it's going to be the same thing like I always do for all systems. The only reason why I would ever get a system is like there's a game I'm wanting to get on it. But for me to say like day one, I'm going to be there on ground zero when the system comes out, probably not. There's not going to be anything that's going to be worth it for my time to even want to waste my time on it.
Yeah.
But but Nintendo always walks on the beat of their own drum. They may release something that we don't even know that's going to be specifically,
I know.
Like a whole it may not even make any sense on why they would decide to release it on the Switch, but they know that it's going to be popular, because keep in mind the reason why they would want to release on the Switch is they know they're going to get money back from it, because they know it's like it's still a guarantee that the people are going to still pay for it. Switch has been
still making money,
sells astoundingly well for third parties and indie games. So still for it, let alone their first party games are freaking gold on that system. So like, who knows? I mean, like how it's going to be. Switch 2, on the other hand, it's, even though it's in an established form of from an established company, there's still maybe some sort of unknown on what they're going to do or how they're going to release on it. But we'll definitely see. Nightmare Wolf said last year was full of good games, but this year I don't see anything that has caught my eyes. Yeah, and you know what? To be fair, like, I don't think. I mean, there's nothing that is like that's pulling me in to be like, okay, I'm going to be getting it. I'm definitely going to be getting this game on this system. I can't wait for this game to come out. Besides Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that was the only game that I knew I was going to get. Like that I knew that was the game I was going to be like, I'm going to get this day one. But throughout the year, it's basically going to be like, indie games or games that are made by big third party developers and stuff that's going to be that I'm just going to keep my eye on. But yeah, you're right. It's going to be a cool down year. Let's just say that cool down year,
which I'm fine with. I think it's necessary. I think we need it. People become spoiled.
Oh, God, yes.
Not only that, but the companies and developers, I feel like a lot of them become complacent. Just the fact that people are just buying crap. So, I hopefully this is cool down. It sets a new trend in terms of letting people take a little more time and developing games properly. I saw somebody post a question. It was Greg Miller about why Helldivers has been so
successful.
Just successful as opposed to so many other live service games that have come out. It's like, look, they knew what game they were making. They already knew what game they were making. They have built the whole thing as they post, social events that are happening on a worldwide or server based, activities and things like that. It's like the biggest thing for live service games, why they fail is they never have enough content. If you have enough content already built out, you've got them time delayed that makes it fun and interactive. That's why it's successful, because they built a proper live service game and they're spoon feeding it to people. Keeps them playing, keeps them coming back on and doing all that stuff as they come in with new events. I imagine they'll be adding new creatures, maybe new factions. The possibilities are limitless. And what they're doing is a proper way to do a live service game. And, to me, again, it's about a matter of going and doing things properly and not just trying to can some things together with bubblegum and freaking scotch tape and and being like, here you go, people, look at your topic today, for example. So we'll talk about that later.
I don't even you know what really just drives me insane about like live service games is that they know it's hard. It's incredibly hard to keep your to keep it up constantly, let alone on a console, on consoles and on PC. And it's ridiculously expensive. You're hitting, I mean, probably nowhere near to the level of MMORPGs, but they always feel that this game is like their next live service game is going to change they're reinventing the wheel. And it's like, oh no, our game is going to be different. And then then maybe 6 months later, you just see it. Something gets thrown into the graveyard of irrelevancy, like all over again. And then
look at boom. Redfall.
Yeah, look at this nonsense. Redfall all around was red flags, like just flying all over the place with it.
It's people that don't know how to make live service games, and I feel like they're being forced to make live service games, and it shows. They're trying to force this genre on. And it's like, dude, like. It takes something special to do it properly.
Do you know what it reminds me of? And this is a kind of like, I don't know, maybe unless you're familiar with MMORPGs or if you've ever played a lot of MMORPGs, what it reminds me of is when they try, like in an MMORPG, they usually have a section specifically to do PvP based like world events. And they try to incentivize people to do it. It is hard to incentivize a lot of people to go do these events 9 times out of 10, a lot of the times for these for the deals. But the developers are trying their best to do. Hey, if you do this, this is what you can get for an additional boost and stuff like that. I feel like live service games is like we know it's there. We know we can try. It's going to be good for the short time being, but in the long run, is it really the way you're wanting to go? I mean, you've seen what Avengers tried to do. You've seen what all the other ones are trying to do, and yet you see the same outcome every damn time. It's I can't even think of a recent live service game that is still around or let alone still popular enough to be like, oh, it's still going strong. It's so terrible.
Apex Legends is what comes to mind in more recent terms, in terms of successful live service games.
That was 4 years ago when Apex initially started it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Exactly.
So
exactly. It's not an easy genre to be in. And that's why it feels like there's some sort of forcing of it to be done by people that don't understand how to make a proper, live service game.
And look at how long it take. Look what the studios had to do just to make it popular. Like what Dust is saying on League of Legends and Phantasy Star Online 2. League of Legends, the Riot Games made one game. For 15, they made one game. They put all their resources on for over a decade, and then just so it can master it's mastered itself. Not saying that that's what their initial cause was for it, but it is what it is.
And I feel like a lot of times people are making live service games with monetization in mind. You can feel it, you see it. That's what it's about. It's basically a game built around a digital store.
Get it out of here.
Is what I feel like a lot of them are. What I love about Helldivers is that they do have it. Obviously, that's you can use real money to get these super credits. Here's the thing: you can find super credits in the game. I'm literally at 545. It costs 1,000 to get the bonus war bond, the premium war bond stuff. So I'm just saving those up, finding them when I go into missions, because like I know now where you can find them, and I'll get it that way. The fact that you're giving me the option to, hey, if you just grind out a little bit, you can also still purchase this. You don't have to use real money. There's absolutely people that are going to, but it at least gives you the choice and the option.
But it's not just that; it's not an overgrind. Like it's something that's easily attainable if you just take the time to do it. And it's not a lot of time, just a little bit of time, you know?
Thank
you. We appreciate that.
Yeah. And then on top of that though, too, do you see up like you were saying with the Apex, the studio who did Apex basically dissolved Titanfall. They basically stopped making Titanfall. They focused all their eggs in that, and for the longest time, when they got popular with that, they were able to make a second source with another good game with Star Wars, the Star Wars Fallen Order and all that stuff. But prior to that, I just think that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. It takes effort for all around, like an all around kind of situation for that to work. Even with Helldivers 2, like these people, like the reason why it was having network issues was that they didn't think that there was going to be so many concurrent players to be on their servers. So they undersold how many people can be supported on their servers. That was the largest issue for it. Then when they upgraded these the amount of people to 700,000, up to 700,000 people on their servers, the servers are not as congested, but it's still like, they're still kind of keeping an eye on it because they don't know how long it is. But thank God Helldivers has a good feedback, has always had good feedback in itself, especially from was it Deep Silver that did this one? I don't remember.
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead that did this one. So yeah. So there you go. But but as for like live service games, well, kind of switch over from the Nintendo Direct to this, but it's actually kind of funny. But it had to be said, man. But anyways,
segue.
Yeah, Lex.
My turn. So, I don't know if y'all know this. I like horror games. I know. Shocking. There is a new horror game coming to you. June 4th, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. So if you are not old like myself and the boys, maybe you've never heard of this. It was a great movie. You should watch it. But it's from the 80s, and they are turning it. It's so good. What are you talking about, you big old baby?
36-year-old stupid looking clowns.
Sir, it is held up the test of time. That movie, I've rewatched it many times. I think I watched it recently too. It's good. I like it. It's a fantastic movie. You should watch it. But they're bringing it to games, a game nearest you. So basically, what it's going to be, let me tell you, it's going to be a 3v7. So it's asymmetrical, which we know how that works. It's, very much like DVD, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So 3 killers versus 7 survivors. So you can group up with your friends and play either killers if you just have 3 of you, or if you have more, you can obviously play as the survivors. So you're running around Crescent Cove, which is where the movie takes place, and you have to work together to try to fight back this invasion of alien killer clowns, right? Now, they are doing a pre-order bonus if you are interested in this game. The pre-order includes 1 week advance access, so you don't get it on June 4th. You get a week earlier. You get 2 human cosmetics, 1 killer clown skin, 1 clown character. Deluxe upgrade includes 2 human characters, Mike and Debbie. Again, watch the movie. 2 clown skins, also known as junk suits. 1 movie clown skin is Bebo. Of course, the soundtrack and the art book. But it looks so good. I'm so excited. So basically, if you're the clowns, you run around with your friends fighting with wacky weapons, trying to fight these humans and take over their town. And same if you were the humans, you run around trying to look for resources to obviously fight back and set traps for the clowns. And of course, sometimes you find their wacky weapons to fight back with. So I'm very excited. It is going to be Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox Marketplace. Now, I did double check. It's not going to be on Game Pass. It's $26.99, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
not bad. Weird
That's
price,
not bad at all.
Not bad.
Is it $26? I'm pretty sure it's $26.99. I might be wrong. Let me double check. Hold on. But
sorry, I was gonna say my question
$39.99. I'm so sorry.
$39.99.
Correct.
That's not. I mean, still depending
that's still
on
not
how. Bad. Yeah, that's not bad. My question off rip is, and I'm guessing this has been resolved, but licensing, everything is on the up and up with that, because I'd hate to see another Friday the 13th situation happen.
Well, Friday the 13th was a freak accident.
Creators.
Yes. Well, it's Elphonic Studios is it's a legitimate studio. I mean, the same people that gave you Ghostbusters and stuff. So I don't think we're going to see the hullabaloo that was Friday the 13th. Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what you get when you do Kickstarter projects, is what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dust said, looks like it's going to be another Evil Dead game where I beat everybody's butt anytime I play killer. Probably.
It was probably. I was already.
You don't know.
Myself.
We get weapons. Well, I guess we had weapons in that too.
Ghostbusters. Schooled us on Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That was worse because we had the weapons and he's the one that was running away from us.
Mm-hmm. And he's still beat
That's
up.
true. That's true.
So, yeah, I'm excited for this game. I know Davis doesn't like clowns, and he's clowning on the movie, but it is held up. It's very funny. It's very imaginative. It's different. I don't want to spill too much, but like at a carnival, there's cotton candy and there's popcorn and all that fun jazz. And maybe that's what happens to you when they find you. I'm just saying. So, I'm excited to get turned into cotton candy.
This is this game is like a game I would like.
Really?
I was like not interested in at all. But maybe it would be a good stream or something. I would play. I'd be willing to play. Davis, I'm with you there. See, I hate clowns. See, there you go.
Really, I'm shocked Nightmare doesn't like clowns. I feel like this is the movie that took that little bit of fear of clowns that I had from going to haunted houses with my dad as a little girl. This took that fear and tuned it so that I'm not as scared. I still don't like clowns in person at like theme parks, like getting in my face. Absolutely not. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it kind of gave me that control back because you can laugh along with the film. It's very campy. It's different. So I don't know.
You're my personal space clown. Get the F away, essentially, kind of deal. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Or like you go into a room and there's like mannequin clowns, and it's like, oh, which one's real? You're like, don't pop out at me. I'll swing. You know. I don't like that. That's
I have no issue with clowns. I am not afraid of clowns. I think it's hilarious. Like I knew people that were clowns. Like
like real life clowns.
Whole,
yes.
Clown troupe.
Yeah.
You're the clown troupe? Oh no. A whole clown troupe.
Not like the Insane Clown Posse group, right? Just separate from that. Okay. I was like, that was around that time.
I worked security for one of their shows. That was crazy. Nice. Yeah, I got blasted in the face with an industrial roll of toilet paper. It almost knocked me out.
What? Oh, I would be more pissed off at clowns at that point.
I was very pissed off, dude. But they ended up climbing over the rails and like all came down. Like we got called to the front of the thing. Like, dude, I was soaked in Faygo by the end of the show. Like I got like a respiratory thing. Like, dude. Like,
this was an ICP concert?
It was an ICP concert.
Oh, yeah. I thought you. Okay. There's two different things I was thinking. Because at first,
than what I was thinking too.
I was thinking like
your friends blasted you. That's not nice.
I was thinking because you said that you knew a troupe of clowns, and I was like, okay.
But then you said something about Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, then you switched to that story, and I was like, I'm like, what the hell are these people doing to you?
No. That was like a school thing. Like in junior high, we had like a clown troupe, and there was multiple people that were in this troupe. And I didn't even know that was like a thing that people did. I thought it was hilarious. But each their own.
Clown school's thing. It's a real thing.
Each their own. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've never been afraid of clowns.
Look at Smitty. He has a story for two different situations of clowns. And it's
very different.
Very incredibly different. Oh, man.
I would like to clarify. I'm not afraid of like regular clowns, like children's parties, even though I have a traumatic experience with one. Not scared of them. It's when I'm in like a haunted house situation. That I don't like that.
I can see it. I'll punch a clown in the face. Though.
Oh, shame.
Dude, ever since that
you go in that glow in the dark room, you're like, nobody pop out. I have a tendency to swing.
Yeah.
Ever since
unless it's like an it situation, then you're just.
Oh God! If it's an it situation, if you see a clown in the sewer, you can throw a grenade in that. A grenade in that sewer. Oh my God!
I know how to make a pipe bomb. I didn't say that out loud.
Jesus!
You can't just say that out loud.
Yeah, you really can't. Oh my God, dude, that is freaking crazy.
Thanks,
like, I just imagine it's like, hey, every time I look at the clowns, like they just get. You go back and you're like, oh, you go to soaked in Faygo and stuff.
Dude, that was terrible, man. I'll never forget that. That was a brutal concert.
Was that an accident or like?
Was that a Guar show though?
No, dude. Like they were all in the stands and stuff like that. We were down on the floor, and they were like getting like I don't know. They were getting all raucous and stuff like that. And like I don't know how somehow somebody had gotten a hold of one of the big rolls of toilet paper for the event center, and they whipped it down, dude, and like it hit me straight in the face, almost like I almost fell flat on my ass.
Oh no!
And then they started rushing and jumping over and coming down, so we all got sent back by the stage where there was gates and stuff like that.
Oh my God, that could really mess with you.
It was nuts, dude. It was nuts.
Never mind. That is not like going to a Guar show. Guar show.
Yeah, you get eaten in the Guar show, like the with the fake monster, and you get devoured by the monster.
Yeah, they also spray stuff at you, but they tell you, like, don't wear clothes that you don't want ruined. Just wear an all black, like, get up with, like, a hoodie because you're going to want to cover your face, But they spray you with fluids from the monsters. I'm not going to say what, but it's not fun. Sometimes, but at least it smells nice. Like
I think the moral of the story is do not go to a Guar show. That's right. Well, now,
unless you're me.
You can't anymore, though. I mean, since what's his name passed away.
I know. It makes me so sad.
Yeah,
I want to go. But don't go to an ICP concert, apparently, says Smitty.
Well, you can't anymore because
that's your thing.
You can't anymore because one of the people had to retire. Yeah.
I didn't know you had to retire.
Because he had a heart condition, a really bad heart condition, so he had to stop. Yeah,
rapping's real hard as a clown. You know?
Well, I don't think it's the rapping that was, or maybe the post parties might have been. Have you met their fans? Their fans are crazy.
Yeah.
So there you go.
With a few of them.
Oh man. All right, but anyways, I will close this off. And I wanted to talk a couple of things about what we were talking about a little bit earlier, which was a little bit of the games as a service things. 2 games as a service games came out. 2 games as a service games. 2 games as a service games did come out in January and February this month. First was Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and then just last week, Skull and Bones. So this is kind of exactly what we were kind of talking about. Suicide Squad, people were kind of iffy already on the market, and they weren't really sure about what to expect about this game itself, and as well, and they definitely had a good justifiable reason for this. Well, sure enough, they WB had a conference call for their shareholders and stuff, and they even said that that Suicide Squad itself has not reached the expectations of what they were what was planned for it, and what their idea of how far they were wanting it to go. So unfortunately, what I really hate about this is that they don't give us numbers. They need to give us numbers for the stuff. They were just saying that this wasn't their expectations were just, and they were disappointed with the numbers that they were released. Then the biggest issue is that the only thing that I can gauge this by is the concurrent people that are playing it on Steam, because Steam is probably the best way, because we can find the numbers. There's only 855 people playing it concurrently on Steam.
Stop.
Right now. Yeah, and that is...
I thought you were going to say 800,000.
No, that would be nice.
That would be crazy.
They would definitely love it. 853. This is the first month. People and this is supposed to be they're going to be their biggest month, is going to be the first month from this, and they're at 800. What's worse is that they have their roadmap that's going to try to bring people back in, but the first big thing that they're planning on doing is bringing, I think it was a Joker DLC. So it's going to be coming out. But the bigger picture is this: you're starting out with a small pool of people that are dedicated to wanting to play this game. Now you're going to try to bring people back to the said game by your DLC counts. What is your expectations with your first year on this? And then, like, when you're going to say, okay, you're going to pull the plug on this? Because in my opinion, this thing is going to die at the end of the year. Like, I don't see how this thing is going to survive to have a season 2 DLC and try to make more money. They totally flopped on this, which is sad and disappointing. Could have been something better. What made matters worse, this is a rock steady game that most people were totally in love with Batman. You did what you did to conclude it with Batman, with the Arkham series, Arkham Knight Batman. You already made a lemon with Gotham Knights prior to this one, and it's just sad. It's just sad to see that this is that y'all decided to do this kind of game for it. It's like an injustice in itself, for y'all to do it. But anyways, they're disappointed in the numbers. I would be disappointed in the numbers too on this, and I don't know what their expectations are going to be for to keep the support for this game, which is probably not going to be long. Second game that is is very, very disappointing is Skull and Bones. So Skull and Bones number is just abysmal. I don't even know, there's 2 problems for this one. First off, it's an exclusive for Epic Games, so there's not any numbers specifically for Steam itself. Yeah, exactly. So there's not any numbers specifically for Steam on what the concurrents are. Problem is the people have felt is basically feeling the same thing that I was initially worried about what people were going to be feeling like. This, you're getting a lot less for $70, mind you. You're getting a lot less.
It's a quadruple A game, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially. You're getting so much less than what one would have gotten for Sea of Thieves. For a game that even when it came out was $30. Like I just don't like that alone is just service it all in itself. People say like the some of the boat battles are good, but to say that you're going to be keeping up with your the service of this game as well is they're saying the numbers are bad. But I don't want to say, I don't want to guarantee, I don't want to confirm it because I don't have the numbers in front of me either. But they're saying but the average rating on this is a 3.6. So I was worried about. I was already worried about it initially. I was so hyped for this game. I'm so disappointed in this specific game because this is the game I was talking about. I believe 3 years ago when we first started the podcast. I was like, I can't wait for this game to come out. Yeah, and after this game's been in that limbo state, I feel like the problem is when the game gets in that kind of weird limbo, terrible state where you have to. Where it's just being delayed again, and it takes time. It doesn't matter when that game comes out. It doesn't matter what your expectations were for that game. You're going to be disappointed by it. It's like this game has been in that weird thing since 2012. So I'm good. I was good. I'm glad I decided not to care about it anymore. But the biggest thing is like, guys, please stop doing live service game like bring out so many of these live service games, man. I don't even know, like, you know what, it would make more sense to me if they could say who are they catering this stuff for at this point, because it's like, even numerical wise, it doesn't seem like they're like it's showing off that people are willing to spend the kind of money that you're thinking that they're going to spend for these games. Like, what is going on? What the hell's going on with all of this, man?
And I think that's why Naughty Dog pulled back on The Last of Us multiplayer. I think they saw, because what could they have even done? Not only that, but then they would have had to divert some resources to, I don't know why that was so difficult to say,
I get it.
to be able to maintain and keep up on this live service game, which I think they saw that it wasn't sustainable. I think the biggest thing and I'm right there with you. I played the closed beta. I played their trial. When I figured out that there was no land stuff, really, I was like, nope, this isn't anything that I thought. You guys did freaking Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the only Assassin's Creed game I've owned. And that was way doper than what I had just played with Skull and Bones. There's nothing unique about it. You're not going on like a Sea of Thieves where like you have to have a crew that's manually pulling things and stuff like that. Like you can do it on a joystick and do all that. Like, there's nothing intuitive about it, I think. And again, you got to remember, there was a deal with the Singaporean government that forces them that they had to publish a game. Otherwise, this game would have been scrapped. There's no way in hell you could tell me that they wouldn't have already scrapped this game after development hell. It was because of that deal, and they are going to walk away from it because it ain't going to have the numbers. Ubisoft has no problem walking away from it, I believe. This is just, I think they've already accounted this game
as
to be a loss. There's marketing dollars that are still going to it, sponsorship stuff and whatnot. I don't think it's going to last very long. I feel like Kill the Justice League was, I feel bad for Rocksteady. This is one of those situations where I feel like they were forced into making a game that was outside of their wheelhouse. Not only that, but then the fact that they had to tie it into these other classic games, hoping, and I don't know whose decision this was, hoping that the reputation from what people loved with the Arkham series was going to be able to push this forward. But we saw that it was shit. It was complete shit. The moment we found out it was a live service game, it's like, what the hell is Rocksteady doing making a live service game? That is not what you guys do. You guys make solid ass story, narrative, single player games.
But
Why are you telling me this?
Do you know what? Like, I don't mind them making a life. Like, I don't mind
either.
making a different kind of game.
At no point in time did they ever seem excited about making a live service game.
Yeah,
like you could feel their attentiveness as just your average day consumer. Like, they don't seem like they 100% believe in this shit.
I don't think they definitely didn't. They definitely did. They kind of felt like they went reactionary after they realized, you know, like, because do you remember before the game came out? You remember a month before the game came out, they decided to say, you know what, we're going to just do a live diary journal so they could let people be more hyped about the game, because they were not hearing nothing about this game. Like, no one was excited for this when it came out.
Because we got that one trailer and everybody was like, this looks like dog shit. And because, like, I think they were gonna, like, because wasn't there another delay or something? Because I think it was supposed to come out like last year, and when a trailer hit, everybody was like, what the hell is this? Dude, this isn't even like beta quality. Like, what? Then they were like, oh, hold up. We're gonna delay this. We're gonna polish this up a little bit. And then it kind of like it was just a weird. That one also had a weird development cycle, and I feel like, again, this is one that just felt it didn't feel authentic.
It's unnatural as feeling.
It felt, you could feel, as a consumer, you could feel how uncomfortable the studio felt making this. It just never translated the way that we got the love from the Arkham series into this. So the fact that, you know, so it was disappointing that they had to tie this into that whole story. I guess this would be like Mass Effect Andromeda. People are just gonna pretend like it never happened. It's gonna be my guess.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's like I don't even
they don't consider it part of it.
It's weird because but even let's say theoretically, like, it wasn't even just Suicide Squad killed the Justice League that they missed their mark on this. They like Gotham Knights also missed its mark on it as well. You know, like, I mean, there was just a lot of, like, it's just like, it didn't seem like the tone. I think the people that made Rocksteady's good when the Arkham Knight series was there. I mean, because they were long gone. I think they made their own studio somewhere else. Right. But like, it just seems like the direction that they went to. There was a game where they actually tried, which I think was Gotham Knights, and then when when they decided to say, when the higher ups were like saying, hey, let's make this kind of game and see what they were going to go with. Then it was like, okay, I guess we can make it too. You know, they went. It's like they went half-assed on it. Yeah, you know. I mean, I don't know. That's
really want us to.
And, you know, I don't know. It's just. It's so sad, dude. Like, this is what it's at with it. I just hope that they just stop. I mean, you know what, Kill the Justice League, okay, but the fact that the amount of money they were putting on Skull and Bones at $70 as MSRP.
Dude. That's ridiculous.
And
it's
knowing,
a quadruple A game.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
You need to have a battle on a little island? Yeah. Stop. All my battles have to be in the ship? Stop it.
That's just the crime, man. I don't even know what to think about what, like, how you could say, like, if you're expecting to have someone spend $70, you give them a full game at that point. You cannot.
That's insane.
That is crazy to me that's how much they charge, and that's what you're just getting so much less that it's like it's just disheartening. And I don't know. Anyway, that's what I was thinking about. Like, when I saw these two games this time, and I saw this is just
corporate. Yeah, it's like the corporatification of
corporate
games.
Greed, man. Yeah.
It's people that don't understand it. They're like, we'll make this then, and we'll continue, do that, and then we can continually charge people. They have that mobile phone mentality that they're trying to apply to PC and console games. That's just like, nah, dude, like, you can't even, like, the people are just not gonna get it. And then you spent a ton of money, and then there's going to be layoffs, and then it's a terrible cycle. And I think that's why we are seeing a lot of these old founders and stuff like that break off and make their own companies and own studios, because they're like, they got too big to the point where like they no longer had that creative control that they were looking for. And that's when they're like, you know what, it's time to bounce. I'm gonna go do something else. And you've seen it a lot over the years. So, but this is truly what corporate gaming looks like, and they don't have their finger on the pulse in terms of gamers and what gamers want and what's going to be successful and what's not. That's why you're seeing games like Power World and Helldivers 2 have these crazy explosions. They made fun games. They may not be the most polished thing, or they, whatever, but like the games are genuinely fun. People are having fun, so they're playing them. Imagine that. That's something that corporations, sorry. That's something that corporations around the world seem to struggle with. Again, it's about profit and appeasing shareholders, as opposed to, hey, we're going to make a great game that people are going to think is going to be fun. The money and stuff like that will come, automatically after that. Yeah, exactly.
You can tell too when people enjoy making what they make. You know what I mean? Like there's just a genuine feel, like an air about it. And with the making of Justice, like Kill the Justice League, it was like they don't even want to be making this game. And who asked for this? Did you ask for this? No. What about you? No. You're DC though.
Do you know what's actually funny? It's like when we saw initially, when we didn't know how the gameplay was of Kill the Justice League, we were hyped because we didn't know. All we knew was it was a Rocksteady game, and we knew that it was a part of the Batman universe, and we thought like, oh, this is going to be cool. But then when they showed the first trailer of how the gameplay is going to be, people were like, this is not looking what we were wanting. Oh,
so why does it look like that?
Yeah, so that's where it's kind of murky, and so I just think that the WB dropped the ball on this one big time. Ubisoft really dropped the ball on the other one, and so I just hope that they can learn from their mistakes, which I doubt that they will, and because of this deal. But we'll just go from there at this point. So
yeah.
But anyways, folks, thank you for listening to episode number 209 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation, as always. We will be back again next week with a whole new set of different topics of gaming, as always. But if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We release it on all podcast services, and you can definitely check us out on any of each and every one of them. So there's absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices.
Ooh.
Also, guys, be sure to check out our newest episode of Pop Culture Gems, where we talk to Van Bar Jr. And he is just full of excitement, man. It was actually quite a burst of energy. But once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing out. Y'all, take it easy.
Bye.